So hello everybody to the first Republica in Thessaloniki, Greece. Good evening. My name is Andreas Gebhard. I'm one of the founders of Republica and I'm the CEO. And we have such an incredible, great lineup for this evening and beyond. So it's worth to mark your calendar, come back tomorrow and on Wednesday to join us for this first show we have in Saloniki. And the plan was already that we maybe show the trailer at first. Phil, is this possible? Or?
Good morning, Republica. I can't tell you how much it fills my heart with joy to see you all flood in and fill this empty hall. Thank you so much for coming and joining us for our 11th edition of Republica.
I think the most special is that there's so many different things.
The environment, it looks young. Like you feel young when you're here.
Republica is a place where people dive into the politics and the fun of making the internet more human, and nowhere else does that.
When you follow international issues without traveling the entire world, it's difficult to get an overview. And at Republica, I'm able to get an overview of a lot of things that are happening in different countries.
It's like going to the UN, but the people are creatives and artists and the marginalized and the weirdos and the tech nerds.
Where I have fun and my brain works a lot, so it's a nice time of the year.
A cool conference is a technical one, but it has also the ethical aspects which I really feel are missing in the technical field and need to be talked about more.
The topic of the conference this year, Laugh Out Loud, is definitely a statement against hate speech and fake news.
At the end of the day, what is the best weapon against dictators? What is the best weapons against weapon against secrecy and all sorts of covert operations? Transparency. We have to talk about it.
Let me get my feet on the control.
Ganz vielen lieben Dank. Dankeschön. Also 2. bis 4. Mai nächstes Jahr sehen wir uns hoffentlich alle wieder.
Yeah, it's a sad situation for me to ask you now for just a minute of patient about what I have to tell you, because we are not fully here. One of our colleagues, Michael Graudens, is missing. We already booked the flights that he could come with us for the technical aspects. He died a month ago at a heart attack with 34. And I would like to ask you for a few seconds of silence to remember him. Okay, let's get the show started. I'm very happy to be a little bit the moderator for this first session we now have, and I would like to have a few words about why we are here in Thessaloniki and what the background is and what my future plans are. And then we have this incredible lineup introducing this whole conference. I visited Thessaloniki maybe 7-8 years ago, and I was really impressed because I didn't know why I loved it, but I always look back to it as a nice destination. And then we came 4 years ago here with a group of creative scene from Berlin, and we visited a lot of you. I see a lot of common faces in the audience, and today really a kind of a dream came true for me, that we can now do something here like a conference which is with such an impact like Republica. So thank you very much that you're all here. I think what we need in Europe, what we need in the free world, are visions which are beyond the next day or the next week. So we have to think about how we can collaborate together in a new way, which is not so deeply connected to maybe state structures or corporate structures. We have to really find ourselves in the digital age together in the digital society. That's the reason why Republica is existing, that we have a place, and hopefully in the future more places like that, where people come together who are from a technical background, who are from a society background, who are technicians, who are journalists, who are people who are really engaged with the digital age, to mingle around and not only focus on one topic, just being together. And what I see here, it's a very good example of how that works. So I please you use this next 48 hours to meet as many people as possible, because it's not only about the super great content we will watch in the next days, and we give you a short overview in a few seconds. Use this time to get together and maybe starting new projects. And I just want to mention one thing. It came in mind, what could I say at such an opening? And I thought, why not thinking about doing a Hyperloop from Thessaloniki port to Berlin? So sometimes nobody would know what a Hyperloop is. It's an easy thing. It's just a tube with a lot of pressure in it, and you can carry goods with speed of nearly 1,000 kilometers per hour. Why I wanted to mention that is we need in Greece, but also in Germany and in Europe and in the free world, we need a vision of projects we want to do by ourselves and maybe do together, which are bigger than just the next day. And maybe all these nice people here in the room can think about how we can improve Europe as one of the mostly free spaces in the world, can be really developed with a vision for the future. So I would like to invite you to join that. And again, I'm very, very happy to have you here. Thank you. And now I'm so happy to have Gillian with me. Jillian York from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. We had, if you watched the live stream last time, Fernanda was struggling with the rest of the name. It's just you from the EFF, and she was in Dublin with us for the final keynote, and maybe can bridge the idea from Dublin to Thessaloniki a bit for us.
Sure. Thank you so much. It's very exciting to be here. This is my, let's say, 10th Republica. I've been to 7 of them in Berlin and Dublin the past couple of years. And what was really special about Dublin was the intimacy of the conference. Berlin's Republica is wonderful, but as you saw in the trailer, it's absolutely enormous. And what was so special about Dublin was the opportunity to talk with the team, for speakers to meet each other, meet the audience, and for everyone to talk together. We saw things about everything from hate speech to virtual reality to fake news and everything in between. The talks were absolutely fantastic, but so was the space, and it really provided an opportunity for people to get to know each other, get to know the Republica team, and get to know what the vision is all about. So I hope that Thessaloniki will be even better, and I think that with this space, it surely provides kind of a similar atmosphere. So I'm very excited to be here, and thank you.
Thank you. And you missed the keynote psychedelic session right in the beginning. It is worth to watch it maybe few words on that. We are videotaping all the sessions here, so don't be afraid if you miss a session. You can watch it on YouTube, and we have already our Dublin videos. Maybe, I hope I'm not lying. Our Dublin videos online already, so you can check it there as fast as we can do it. I would like maybe sit down again, and in the end, I would like to have a group of all of you being on stage again. I think we wanted to continue with a mayor of the city of Thessaloniki, but I think he's not showed up right now. It's very close to. So we changed the lineup a little bit, and I'm very pleased and honored that we have the vice mayor from Berlin here. It's Klaus Lederer. Thank you for coming. He's also senator for culture in Europe, and together with him, I want to ask Victoria Wenzelmann from the Global Innovation Gathering on stage. We will talk a little bit about Berlin, and it's really great to have you. Thank you here. Thank you so much. So, who wants to start? Maybe you? You can also go there.
Yeah. Hey, Thessaloniki. Hey, Republica. I'm really glad to be here and to be a part of this opening of the Republica in Thessaloniki, the first one. Because Berlin is a very creative, attractive city. Art in Europe is my department in the government, Art in Europe. And I think to connect the people in Europe is the most progressive project we can do. The national governments only focus their own interests or the national interests. So I think the crisis of the European Union is follows this thinking, this mental, this mental project what each government in the 27 countries of the European Union support. And if we want to get a common Europe, if we want Europe of the people of the European Union, we must reinvent this. And I think Republica in Thessaloniki, Republica in Dublin also, is a step to bring the people of the European Union, the creative, the poor people, the active people together. And yeah, that's the reason I'm here.
Maybe this is the point. It's not, of course, not only around the European Union, the whole European region. We are also inviting people from the Mediterranean Sea, and it's not limited on that. But yeah, I'm so happy to have you, really.
Yeah, thank you. I can go on from there because we believe in exactly the same things, bring people together to connect them, which is why in 2013 at Republica, Geraldine de Bastian, by then curator at Republica, and many other beautiful people started something called Global Innovation Gathering, which is by now a network of around 150 people from 40 countries who are social and technological innovators. It covers the whole range of people that were mentioned earlier: makers, hackers, journalists, bloggers, politicians, business people, activists, everybody. And we are still feeling that our heart and our center is in Berlin, because this is where most of us come together every year at Republica to meet and host the Gig Makerspace, which we also brought to Thessaloniki in the form of this big blue van outside. It says in tiny letters and tiny hearts, which are about that big, that it's the Gig Makerspace. So please come visit us and talk more to us. And we look forward very much to Republica here. Oh yeah, Andreas asked me to say a little bit more about the focus of the countries. So most of our members are from Africa, Latin America, and Asia. Many more are coming right now from the MENA region and also from Europe, which I have to say we were not so focused on in the beginning when we started. And I'm very sad that we couldn't bring more people from the MENA region from GIG here, that it's me as a German representing GIG. I wish that would have been different, but for visa reasons and a lot more reasons, it was a bit tricky. But I'm happy to set up a Skype call or something with whoever you would like to meet.
Thank you so much. So representing Berlin, Vicky and Carl. So it's really an issue that we always have struggles with visas. You know that all these problems, how to get from one country to the other. And it is always at Republica also a thing we are facing, that people can be there or not. It's always till the last minute if they could make it possible, if they're coming from more far away countries which are not so hardly connected to Europe. I would love to continue in this opening ceremony with the German Consul General, Mr. Walter Stechel, and our international director and overall manager of Republica, Simone Orgel. Please come to stage. So we have different opportunities. You can talk there if you, what you like.
Oh, we talk here? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, and welcome to Thessaloniki. I'm very, very happy to have Republica here. It shows that the action isn't taking place only in the heart of Europe in Berlin, but that it is spreading out. There is no more periphery and center, but all is integrated. When I read about connecting Europe, I'm tempted to look back 150 years when we were thinking of connecting Europe by rails, later by telephone lines, telegraph lines. It was hardware, it was business oriented, and it created indeed a heart and a periphery. But now with digitization, we have the chance to change this, to be close to each other in moments from the periphery, from the center, and create what is even more important for Europe, to create a European public. And I think that Republica is one of the big avenues to create this European public. And that is why we at the German Foreign Office here and here at the Consulate are very happy in supporting Republica. And I'm sure that this event here is going to put a lot of new places on the map, create new ideas, and that is why it will continue and it needs to continue. Thank you.
Well, you heard about Dublin. We're looking forward to hear so much more about Thessaloniki. And if you put it all together, it's actually the vision of reconnecting Europe. That's what the very brief moment was when we started to thinking about that idea. And I still can't believe that it's now all happening, which is such an amazing thing. And once again, a big, big applause to the Federal Foreign Office, because without them, it wouldn't have been possible at all. Thank you so much. So I actually do believe that that was right to the point what Reconnecting Europe is about, but maybe to just continue, because Republica has always been about actually creating a space for people together, for creatives together, for makers together, for digital community together. And I think one important thing was always to have a very diverse perspective. Also to maybe even disagree. Maybe we're going to disagree on some points as well over here, but especially to create the space for it. And not only welcoming international audience and people to Berlin, but also to actually connect locally, as we are trying to do right now. And it was such a great thing that you actually were supporting us to make this all happen. And that's exactly what Republica and Reconnecting Europe is about. So thanks so much. I'm very much looking forward to the next couple of days.
Thank you so much, Simone and Mr. Stechel. Do I get a signal from upstairs? If yes, no, maybe in a minute. Well, we have such an awesome program. We can really have some beautiful people out of my team on stage. So first of all, I would like to invite Sandra Mamitzsch, program director, long-year program director for Republica in Berlin. So if you want to know anything about and everything about the program here, but also about the past, maybe 3,500 sessions we had in the last years, you can ask her. And I would ask Markus on stage, of course. Markus Beckedahl, maybe you could join us too. Markus Beckedahl is one of my founding partners of Republica and the CEO of Netzpolitik.org, one of the most important German resources on net politics. So please, a warm applause for both of them. And usually in the script we were thinking about that. I give you now the microphone and you take over, so I will do that. So you have the honor to be on stage with Yiannis Boutaris and with Tenia Menegaki. And but I would like to ask Markus first. Maybe you can give a really short flashback on how that happened, what we are doing here.
Yeah, 11 years ago, we thought we need a conference to bring together the digital civil society in Berlin to debate all our topics. At that time in Germany, the digital society or the digital future was only debated under technical aspects or under business aspects. And we thought we are the people who use these tools, who use the internet, who live in the internet. We want to come together to debate about what's going right, what's going wrong, how can we fight for digital rights in the digital age? How can we connect all the different parts of civil society with activists, with artists, with business people to create a full debate on in which future or which kind of digital future we want to live. And now, 11 years later, we are here in Greece. It's the first time for us that we have summer this year coming from Berlin. It was raining most of the time. We are very happy, and we are very happy to connect with you living here, because we think our topics are globally. Our topics are debated in all parts of the world with different perspectives, and we want to learn from you and your perspective, how you look into our issues, into your issues, and how we can together build a global digital society.
Yeah, welcome also from my side. We don't only want to discuss this tonight, and as you're all here, I hope you already looked into the program flyer we brought, and everybody gets one. And I also have a few more, my baby is just crying a little bit for just welcoming me on stage. Thank you. So I have a few more flyers for you here. And we will continue also with a really European topic to discuss more about what kind of citizens we need in this new world that we're living in this digital world. But I wanted to speak more about the program for tomorrow, because maybe tomorrow in the morning you think, well, it's way too nice weather to come here again. So we have many great sessions that you absolutely should attend. Like, we speak about censorship in Turkey and in Cyprus. We speak about how you can learn to creative coding, how you can look into the different aspects of all the fields of the digital society. So we try to make a small window into the topics of Republica. We will have small discussion sessions, like from Sabria. Sabria is here, I think. Yay, great. And where you can all brainstorm together. We can have, like, we will have big keynotes, like from Altuk, who's coming from Turkey. Finally, he got a visa, that's great. Also speaking about gamification, which is also a topic that is really dear to everybody's heart in the past years. And so we will have the boat again to connect MENA region to this part of Europe, and many other things. So I want you to all explore a bit. Also maybe the cinema, if you have time, the cinema museum. And also on Wednesday, we will then have more things to explore, because we won't be at this venue for Wednesday, but we will have smaller breakout sessions. We meet at Ypsilon, for example, which is a small new cafe and co-working space in Thessaloniki. It's really big, actually. But it's making it nicer if it's... So we will have a workshop on creative coding there again, and also breakfast, and also we have a city tour again with In the Loop. So In the Loop is, yay, they are also here, I think. and we will have more boat sessions. So if you wanted to be on a sailing boat all your life, we finally have the chance, because our great Stefan, who's also sitting there, over there, you can speak to him about sailing all the time, of course. He brought a boat here, so we're really happy to have that as well.
So, and this boat is maybe so digital. I've had just the tour today, and he can sleep in his bed on the boat and navigate with everything that's needed for the sailing boat. It's very, very, very interesting. I think we should continue in the program. We already thought how we want to do it. So I want to ask Lefteris Kretsos on stage. He's the Secretary General for Media and Communication of Greece. So it's a huge honor to have you here tonight. You have a small presentation with you, and it's a pleasure and an honor to have you here. And so maybe you just dive into your presentation and give us a short
Thank you very much.
intro.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, it's a big presentation. Do you want me to continue with the structured presentation, or all right?
As you like.
Okay. Okay. Perhaps you will regret that, but yeah.
Well,
So,
we control the electricity.
all right.
So.
Okay. All right. So first of all, I would like to thank you for being here. I think it's a great honor, a great opportunity for people in Thessaloniki and people in Greece in general to connect ourselves with friends and colleagues who are working in the broader area of creative industry, digital arts, digital culture, media, and so on. I know I'm speaking as a politician, but it's very, very important. It's very important. It's a matter of democracy. It's not just the technological advancement. It's not just the economic benefits and the business perspective of making culture an important thing. It's we face a clear, tangible risk now of people who believe in critical thinking. They are under attack, not just because of the fake news, but because also they cannot. They are just consumers of the information of the media that they consume. The point is to make people, ordinary citizens, creators of new content and to control this type of new content. So I was supposed to talk about television. I'm going to talk about television and actually if there is any future, if there is any prospect for the traditional old-fashioned style of television, the linear, digital, terrestrial television. I will try to be short and I will give you the answer. The answer is yes. And under very certain, of course, preconditions that I will try to explain. So, obviously, things have changed a lot, not just in the way content is produced, delivered, but also in the way that content is consumed. The viewing experience itself has been revolutionized a lot. And especially this is especially true for younger generations. Some people from the old guard of the industry, they also get annoyed with them because it's a wired, round-the-clock generation who loves, of course, watching movies, who loves watching TV and video, but they want to do it for free because they love also sharing content and they love the core karting. So in this context, we realize that a lot of changes have taken place. I will just stick to some statistics just to put everything into a context. So we have almost 400 hours of content that is uploaded per minute and about 600,000 hours that are being uploaded per day on YouTube. So if you want to watch what is on YouTube, it will have taken millions of years. By 2019, 30% of the global audiovisual entertainment media consumption will be done through the internet and especially the use of mobile phones. By 2020, in almost 2 years from now, videos will take up to 75% of the global circulation of portable devices data. and 60% out of 2.5 billion smartphone users worldwide watch videos on a daily basis, while 40% of the overall YouTube video watching already happens on smartphones. So the big screen may not be so big after all. And this is especially true, especially for those aged between 15 to 35 years old, where the mobile phone is the primary screen. So if I ask you, for example, how many of you here, of all of us in this room, are using smartphones, how many times per day we Google? Google is a verb, for example, right? I'm pretty sure the answer will be that we are too many. And what this means, it means that overall the political economy of media, entertainment, creative industry has changed a lot. And in this context, I just want to ask, and this is my research inquiry, is there any space left for traditional media and especially traditional linear TV broadcasting? And as I said, the answer is yes, but before going so, and I will skip some of my presentation because it's great that you have a very cool atmosphere in this conference and I don't want to break that. I think that what we have to understand here is also the danger that the so-called Big Four, the FANG, the Facebook, the Amazon, the Netflix, and the Google, of course, control a lot of the information and of the media and of the content that people are usually consume or talk about and socialize. So from a business perspective, there is future in TV because the TV market is expanding. Why is it expanding? Because TV viewing has been now, let's say, becoming independent from the traditional spatial and temporal environment of watching. You can watch TV anytime, anywhere, and to watch anything you really want because there is a lot of pluralism of the media. The greatest part of the internet bandwidth is already being consumed through the streaming of movies and TV shows. And the reality is that no matter what politicians usually say in big decision-making centers like Berlin or Brussels or London and other places, the truth is that the whole States and the European Union is investing millions and trillions of euros in order to go as fast as possible to the 5G connectivity and of course to NGA's new generation action plans and fiber to the home projects for a simple reason, because people love watching movies, love watching video, love watching TV. So the industry itself has a bright future. But as I said again, the point is that we have also to rethink and to think in a very, very critical perspective how the so-called over-the-top players, the news aggregators of global magnitude are transforming the production, the distribution channel, but they are also transforming the way audiovisual industry works, operates, and how people respond to these changes. And that's why I'm very, very happy with Republica, because you have a lot of focus in how internet bandwidth, let's say what is on the internet, affects people's life. And as I said, it's a matter of democracy. But the truth, as I said, we have to face truth, no matter if it's good or bad sometimes, if it's convenient or not convenient, because the situation has become sometimes very, very problematic. So let's talk about independent producers' future in a Europe that, let's say, is dominated by the FANG, by the Facebook, by the Amazon, by the Netflix, and by Google. We need to define and invent new terms in our vocabulary to understand how some things change. Let's talk, for example, about the term of binge watching, where there is a new release of a new TV series like Game of Thrones, where everybody is jumping into their devices to watch as much as they can the new series. For example, over 50% of viewers watch the whole 5th season of House of Cards in less than 5 days. And I'm talking about House of Cards, for example, where each episode costs something like 5 million euros, and the Game of Thrones, which costs an episode of 10 million euros. And a lot of states, including my state, my country, Greece, we spend less than 3 million euros per year to promote cinema and TV industry. So, and it's also sometimes, okay, it's a social experience to talk and watch TV series like Game of Thrones or House of Cards. Obviously, I'm not against that, but we have to accept this, or perhaps this is my behavior. It's a bit antisocial behavior sometimes. It's the first time in my life that whenever I travel in airplanes, in trains, in tube, that I watch so many people being so committed to what they say, and they watch those new TV series instead of interacting, talking each other, and sharing the fruits of being active in a public space. Sometimes I feel that those big industries, brands, the funk, have really dominated the public space. It's a funk occupation of public space, and I think we have to be a bit careful on that. Further than that, okay, we can talk about changes in the industry itself. So, for example, it took 25 years for HBO to obtain an Emmy nomination. For Netflix, they did it in just 6 months. In 2016 alone, we had more than 400 brand new TV programs. And as I said, the budget of that was extremely high. The big issue here is the issue of language. And I'm talking about, as a Greek language is not one of these 4 big languages that control more than 80% of the content in the internet, and obviously my language is facing a big issue, and it will become perhaps worse in the future. But as I said, as I'm telling you, I'm trying to skip a lot of what I think I would like to say. It's obvious that TV, some people, they call it the golden years of TV. I wouldn't share this optimism, but it's obvious that if we are not in this golden age of TV, definitely we are talking about TV. Definitely TV is still going. Definitely the variety of material and TV programs is stunning. It's easier than ever to access that. And in this context, I think a big challenge is coming also for the traditional broadcasters, and especially the public broadcaster. Again, I think that there's a big chance. And the reason for that is that the viewing time for regular TV broadcasting in real time is 300% higher than the video on demand viewing time rate. So despite the multi-million productions, viewing time for video on demand subscription television platforms comes up to 12 billion hours per month, while the free-to-air broadcast television daily viewing is almost 2 billion hours. Secondly, the consumer's demand for content variety from subscription service providers and the over-the-top players favors the creators of a lot of co-productions. For example, Netflix has a deal with the RAI, the Italian public broadcaster, with ITV, the BBC and the Channel 4. Similarly, the HBO is in a collaboration scheme with a lot of Balkan producers. In Greece, we have a new legislation, a new cash rebate that we hope that will make Greece as an ideal location for shooting and creating movies and TV material. But so far, we are not, let's say, in the global map of those film-friendly countries. Generally speaking, traditional television broadcasting channels have a place within the future TV landscapes. All the available figures show that the free TV outweighs both free and on-demand television. And there are also one big reason for that has to do with the fact that regular TV mostly transmits live programs that are accessible in every house. So another big issue I think that we have to consider is that most people television viewing practices depend on habit. And if you disagree with what I will say, I think it's better to look on the viewing rates of the Doctor Who and the EastEnders, which are still massive in the UK. So human cells have memory. People usually love, or they cannot live without their usual habits. Traditional linear and traditional satellite TV are still the best candidates for high revenues. This is what the official statistics said. But the old guard of television, despite the fact that they remain films, there is no space for complacency. They need to get in touch with new technologies. They need to create more of higher quality TV program. And of course, they need to understand that at the end of the day, the leading players like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, as well as new big players like Disney Corporation, Apple, and so on, and the tech giants perhaps in China, all they want to do at the end of the day is to make business in television. They want to enter the global TV market. So I think I will stop here. My belief is that television is a disruptor of the internet itself. Television has nothing to be afraid of the internet, of the new technologies. But I think the way to do so is to invest in quality content, of high quality content, in live program and more streams. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Lefteris Kretsos. And now I'm happy and proud to have two persons from Thessaloniki here. So please, Tenia and Spiros, maybe come with me on stage. I unfortunately have to tell you that Mr. Boutaris will not make it to come here today. When you're from Greece, you know why, because this is a very, very big trade show here. There are a lot of ministers here, a lot of people from the different areas. So it's a pity. Maybe he will show up in the next days. It would be an honor. I want just to give one short info for all of you, because all the discussion about TV and the new broadcasting channels, etc., is something what we are doing in Berlin, Republika, very deeply in our media convention. It's a huge conference. We do it next year, the 5th time. It's one of the most important Central European conferences about all this motion picture discussions. So please feel invited to come. So, but now we come to this beautiful round with Spiros Pengas as one of the vice mayors from the city of Thessaloniki, and Tenia Menegaki.
Never know. Menegaki.
This is a very famous name in Greece.
No, but okay.
Menegaki is, if you
it's a TV star.
Say, my name is Menegaki, then everybody says, "Wow, welcome."
You're not blonde.
Yeah.
You're not blonde.
Well, we came just from Dublin. If you listen to the names there, you will know. So it's quite hard to pronounce if you're not so familiar. But Tenia, I'm never ask you with your second name. So I'm so really sorry. So I want to introduce you to Tenia, because she is the project lead for Republika here in Thessaloniki. So please have a few words about you and what you're doing besides of Republika. It was really a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to work on that. Thank you very much for being here and supporting all the work and the dream of the team of Republika, bringing Republika in Thessaloniki. For Andreas, it was something that he was like dreaming long years ago, like since we were first met. He likes to say that Thessaloniki is the Riviera of Berlin, and thank you for choosing Thessaloniki for your Riviera. And well, for us, I think it's like a very big opportunity to have Republika here, because then we are starting to creating a point of networking with all the close region, like Balkan area, like the Turkey and the Asia, Africa region, and so we can be with all these people and recreating new projects all the time. So thank you all for supporting, and thank you, Republica, for getting us reconnected with you. And welcome to the city, like spirit. Yes.
Well, this part was thanking you, but of course, thank you to be here.
Okay, hello. Thank you for giving me the floor. I'm very sorry that the mayor couldn't make it. I was with him up to the last minute pushing, and he was struggling to come, but it was impossible. There is an overload of meetings, events, ministers passing by, and so on. So I hope that he will make it tomorrow to join one of the sessions and to come by. Everybody, welcome to Thessaloniki. We are very happy to have you here. I know from in an experiential way that is a very cool event, Republica, because I've been in Berlin and followed the events. So we are very happy to have you here. And it's not that just we are going to have another event in Thessaloniki, is about the content of Republica. And the content for me is very, very important. This is what is needed here in the city. We have, as we like to say, the human capital. We have the youth here in Thessaloniki, and we really want to connect that youth with the world. We believe what is produced here is competitive all over the world, and that has a reference to the culture, to the education, to technology, to innovation, and so on. What we are missing is the connection and the platforms to connect to the world, to Europe, and to all the updated, so to say, developments in the world. And I think this is what Republica is bringing to Thessaloniki, and that is why it's important, not just for the people, but also for us politicians, in order to break some of the stereotypes, to open up new pathways, and to break some of the limitations that are existent in the legal, political system of Greece. And I hope in the long term, Republica is going to achieve that. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure and an honor.
So thank you so much. So I would love to ask all of you who've already been here on stage for a last photo, and then I hand over to Sandra to moderate the rest of the evening. So please come up, Mr. Stechel, Mr. Lederer, and all of you again for a last photo for this opening ceremony of Republica Thessaloniki. So give a big applause to all these incredible people who have supported us in such different ways. And maybe now we have the situation, so there's the suits and they're not, so maybe you mix it a bit. That would be nice. So welcome again to Republica 2017 in Thessaloniki. It's an honor to be here and have a fucking great time. See you.
Thank you so much, Andreas. Wonderful. Lorenzo, are you already here? Wonderful.